He who is not the king is not a fan of the king, Part 1. Vigilantes. Massa Resurgence 2581. Rebirth. The 14th of April 2023. We, the responsible people of Iran, together with brave youth of Iran, are against all forms of flattery, something that seems to be very common in Iranian society. Our commanders are the children of Iran and the elite young people who have been captured today by a bunch of uncivilized savages. In a scientific system and in a reasonable government, the king or all the other officials, are all servants of the people. Our brothers and sisters in the European Union, America and Israel have repeatedly reminded us that they are amazed at how the Iranian nation does not appreciate having a powerful and reliable prince like Shahzadeh Reza Pahlavi. Every time this issue is raised, we show them clips of the brave Iranian youth, and remind them that the people inside Iran are different from those Iranians who live abroad. The people inside Iran are in the captivity of a bunch of dishonorable savages, and their voices were only heard when thousands of them were killed and thousands of them are still being harassed, tortured and raped in prisons. In Iran, there is a culture that although people may have a lot to say, they seem simple and clueless. For this reason, no one in this part of the world is very familiar with them and their way of thinking. Something that we hope will change soon. Iranians outside of Iran can be divided into 4 groups. The first group, who own TV stations and have opened offices claiming to be the opposition to the Islamic Republic of Iran. We will focus on the first group, and skip the other 3 groups, because it is this first group that is seen by the foreign governments. Our problem with these uneducated men and women, for whom being the opposition to the Islamic regime has become a lucrative business, is that in the absence of an Islamic republic, they have no skills to have an honorable job in a modern society. Therefore, either they want to become the king in the next government, or they want the Islamic Republic to stay in power, so that their shops are not closed. It is also necessary to explain a psychological and sociological phenomenon that has appeared in the form of a problem, that is, the person who is not the king is not a fan of the king. People seem to think that being a king is an advantage. We must inform you that perhaps because of Qajar dynasty and the past 44-year period of the Islamic Republic, when a bunch of shameless animals were holding the power, people are scared of he who holds the power. But if you look at the 54-year period of Pahlavi dynasty from 1925 to 1979, both Reza Shah and Mohammad Reza Shah were like 2 engineers, economists and politicians who were busy serving the country day and night. Even when this is explained to people, it doesn't help. Even in England or some other constitutional monarchies, we see that people who are not the king are not supporters of the king. Although Mohammad Reza Shah Pahlavi tried hard to teach the people that each and every Iranian is the heir to the throne of Iran, every man is a king in his home, and every woman is a queen in her home, and that the only advantage of being an official king is the honor one has to be of service to the people, this misunderstanding did not seem to get resolved and apparently is still not resolved. After many meetings with our think tankers, we came to the conclusion that culturally and even linguistically, an important concept that exists in French but not in other languages, needs to be translated and explained in Farsi. If we wanted to do a literal translation, all for all, not only it fails to convey the meaning of the French phrase, but also it could promote communist structures. The phrase, one person for all, and, all for one person, is also very troublesome, which we will not discuss at the moment. Finally, we decided to translate the phrase like this, superhumans for superhumans. Superhuman, which has been introduced in various ways by philosophers and spiritual people throughout history, is a very complex concept that apparently the French have come to terms with for centuries, while most of the world was not at all familiar with such a concept. From a philosophical point of view, it is necessary to open the discussion of the unity of existence and pluralism, or you can refer to the concept of the individual as cosmic, which was discovered by Professor Nader from the International Movement of Transcendental Meditation, TM, or enter into the philosophical discussions of Khayyam and Nietzsche. We decided to find an easier way to explain it instead of making it too complicated. Perhaps it can be said in simple language, every human being is a single world by itself and is complete. No human being needs another human being added to him/her in order to be complete. It means that you by yourself are a complete world in your own place, and you are the ruler or the god of your own world. A bigger world emerges from the juxtaposition of these worlds in a society. Therefore, it doesn't matter what your job is, what you look like, and what your family and material possessions are. Your identity as an independent world is yours and no one can give it to you or take it away from you. If you can feel and understand this, you will come to the conclusion that it doesn't matter who is doing what, no one's position is higher or lower than others. It is important to be able to be your own citizen in your own world. Now this case is raised that the evolution of your world and your enjoyment can depend on the shape and the quality of your relationship with other worlds around you. From the point of view of psychology, each person needs at least one other person who is like a mirror reflecting your inner world for you. Based on this theory, each of us needs at most only one other person to establish that deep relationship with, in such a way that we can see ourselves, or our reflections, in him. The result of this self-awareness will be the establishment of delightful relationships with other worlds, and each new world you meet has new things to bring you excitement and new experiences. The question is, do you have to be a king to get such blessings and pleasures, and other members of the society are not able to achieve the blessings and pleasures that the king is able to achieve? Here, we will leave you alone with this last question and these topics in your own world to explore. In the next parts, we will share the opinions of our world with your world. May we all be saved in our own worlds together. Vigilantes. Masa Resurgence 2581. Rebirth. The 14th of April 2023.